guys, so today's video is going to be a foundation review, a concealer review. It's test it week on my channel apparently because all week we've been trying out new products. But I know you guys really wanted to see my thoughts on the brand new Milani Conceal and Perfect Foundation Stick. I'm so excited. I got two shades. I bought this on the Milani website, and I also got the new Milani Conceal and Perfect Longwear Concealer. I am a huge mess and it is 1 p.m. Oh my gosh, I'm filming this video way too late. Oh my god. I should have started this video earlier, but I had visitors at my house, and now is when we can sit down to film. Oh. You know, we always have that one person in our family we're always making excuses for. Like, yes, they're always late, but they mean well, they're a good person. That's like us. I feel like I'm always giving you guys excuses and you're always like, it's okay. I'm that cousin of yours that just can't get it together, apparently. Oh, but we will. We will. We will. Okay, so I guess I'm just jumping into this review. I'm gonna prime my face with the Smashbox Photofinish Primerizer every time I try out a new foundation. This is the primer I use. I'm getting a little bit of a raspy voice. You know, in elementary school, everyone used to make fun of my voice. And that didn't happen in middle school or in high school, but in elementary school, everyone used to say I sounded like a boy, that I had like a very raspy, boyish voice. It was a thing. It was a thing. So the two shades I got were 220 Creamy Natural and 210 Creamy Nude. Creamy Natural is probably more my summer shade. This is a bit too dark for me, so I'm gonna go in with Creamy Nude. And I swatched this on the back of my hand just now and I'm a little bit nervous. It seems like it's going to be more of a matte formula, but let's see. I'm gonna do one side at a time. I'm just gonna like draw it on my face. I don't know if I'm putting too much or too little. That is the beauty of these first impressions. That is like a perfect match for me. Oh man, I was gonna show you a side-by-side comparison to show you the coverage. Ignore this little spot right here, but it has pretty good coverage. It kind of reminds me a little bit of the Colourpop foundation stick in terms of how it's blending. Foundation sticks are obviously a little bit harder to blend than a typical liquid foundation, but some are really easy to blend, like the Makeup Forever one, the Hourglass one. My Colourpop one is a little bit harder to blend, and this one is kind of similar. The formula is just a little bit stiffer. You know what? My skin doesn't look cakey at all right now. I mean, my Colourpop one doesn't either, but when I swatched this on the back of my hand, it looked really matte, but now on my skin, of course, over my Smashbox primer, I love that thing, I think it looks pretty good. It looks really natural. I would say this has like medium coverage. I wouldn't say it has full coverage because I can still see my skin peeking through a little bit here. But besides that, I think my skin looks pretty nice so far. I could see a little bit sitting on my skin right here on my cheeks. But now that I'm blending it in, I don't see it anymore. This foundation, I can tell, just needs a lot of blending. You need to make sure you work it into your skin completely, but once you do, it looks pretty freaking natural. Okay, so normally for day to day, I would personally just stop right here. Oh, I forgot to tell you. Okay, so I feel just some slight tackiness, but that could also be some of my primer that I feel, but it's just like slightly tacky, like barely. I don't think you would necessarily need to set this. And normally, like I said, I would just finish right here, but I wanna see how this builds, and I don't have any on my nose either, so I'm just gonna add a little bit more just to see how it does with two coats. And I want this to be like full coverage. I feel like it didn't really stick to my nose. Like I kind of just see it sitting up there, which sometimes is the case for me, especially with foundation sticks. But I always end up putting concealer on my nose anyway, so to be honest, I don't pay attention to that. But in case you are concerned about that, it looks like it's sitting on my nose a little bit. Okay, so this is what the foundation looks like. I don't really notice any cakiness around my nose or in between my brows or anything like that. I would say the only negative right now is that it is a little bit harder to blend into the skin. I would say even a little bit more than my Colourpop foundation stick. You really have to examine your face and make sure everything is blended in. I usually always do one side with a beauty blender and one side with a brush, but man, when it comes to sticks, brushes are the way to go. They're just, can you imagine if we were here with a beauty blender? I'd be bouncing for days. That is the only downside, is that you have to take your time blending this in and pushing it into the skin. But now that it's nice and blended, I think I really like it. It's a nice natural everyday foundation, I feel, so far. Do you kind of see what I mean with the nose thing? It's just kind of sitting on my nose a little bit. But it looks good on the rest of my skin. Let's test out the concealer. I only got one shade. I don't know what I was thinking, but I got 115 Light Nude. There have been so... Oh, this smells exactly like paint. Like paint. Ooh, this is liquidy. Okay, I don't know if this is too much. So I'm gonna start off in little sections. This has a very thin formula. It's very pigmented, but it's not thick. It's kind of watery and thin. Oh my gosh, you know what it reminds me of? It kind of smells like it too. The Urban Decay All Nighter concealer that everyone was obsessed with for a second there, before the Shape Tape came out. It kind of reminds me of that. This is definitely a more matte concealer. That actually looks pretty good though. That coverage is really good. You can see compared to my other eye here, it covered a lot. I love new drugstore products. I want to do like a full what's new at the drugstore, what works, what doesn't, what new releases are worth your money, that kind of thing, but with drugstore, because there have been so many new things. Wow, I really like that. It looks so smooth and almost airbrushed, and I thought it was gonna look matte and cakey underneath my eyes, but it doesn't. I mean, it's matte. If you have very, very dry under eyes, I don't know if you would like this. It's not drying. Like, I don't feel like it's clinging to any of my dry patches. Overall, it looks pretty smooth. It looks good. I'm gonna take a little bit more right here in my trouble area, right there. And then I'm gonna take a little bit down my T-zone like I usually do. Stuff is so liquidy and pigmented that I feel like I'm gonna apply too much. But then it blends out pretty good. And you're like, oh, that's not too bad, that's not too much. It has a lot of spreadability, so a little really does go a long way. I wouldn't recommend doing that giant triangle look underneath the eyes with this concealer. Do people still do that? I feel like I haven't seen people do that in a long time. I feel like that was very 2017, you know? I recently tried out the e.l.f. concealer. It's like a 16-hour wear concealer. I think that one is a little bit more matte than this one. So far, so good. And you know what? It's barely creasing. I just stood up right now to go pee and I was on my phone for like 3 minutes. I need to stop taking my phone into the bathroom. And I just came back and there's not that much creasing going on with this concealer. I have a little bit of creasing on my smile lines right here with the foundation, but I've gotten to a point in my life where it's like, what do you expect to happen in a crease? You know what I mean? I'm gonna take a little bit of my Hourglass Mineral Veil powder and I'm gonna use this to set my under eyes. I feel like this concealer doesn't need that much powder. Like, it doesn't need a lot to be set, you know? Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and finish off the rest of my makeup and I will be right back. If you're curious about more Milani, I'm gonna be using the Milani new Silky Mattes bronzer on my face right now. I've used Sunkissed several times to contour. I've just never used Sunlight. And I'm also gonna use the highly rated mascara because I've already tried the Most Wanted lashes and the Dangerous Lengths mascara, but I haven't tried the highly rated, so I'm gonna be using that as well. Anyway, I'll be right back. I was just on FaceTime with one of my friends for over an hour and I realized, oh my gosh, I'm in the middle of a video. So I just finished up my makeup like an hour ago and quickly I want to give you my thoughts on the Milani products I've used so far. This foundation is really nice. The only part of my face that I'm not loving is my nose. And I don't know if that's because I put a concealer on top of an iffy situation already, like the foundation wasn't sitting that well on my nose to begin with. And then I don't know if putting this on top made it sit a little funny, but it's so barely noticeable that I'm not mad at all. I just want to mention that just in case. But the rest of my face looks really good. The line on this side is so much more prominent than this smile line, and it hasn't sunk into this smile line yet. And I would also have some creasing on my forehead, but things seem to be pretty smooth except for my Miranda side. This is always gonna crease. I honestly can't help it. I've been making that face since I was a little girl. I would say so far, this does look like a foundation a lot of different skin types would like. I'm really liking it so far. I also do like this concealer. I think it's a little bit drier than my Jouer concealer, but it reminds me a lot of that Urban Decay concealer I told you guys about. These bronzers are really nice. I can see why they're called Silky Mattes because they are matte, they don't have a glow to them, but they have a really silky, smooth texture. It's really easy to blend. It's buttery. I really, really like these. I used Sunkissed to contour just a little bit, and then I used sunlight to really warm up the face. This mascara is really good too. At first I was like, it's not really giving me any volume, but it's just a mascara you have to build up. But once you do, it looks nice and dramatic. I think my lashes look pretty good. And honestly, I've been enjoying all of Milani's newest mascaras. And if you're wondering what's on the rest of my face, by the way, might as well, we're here. For blush, I am loving the Buxom Wanderlust blushes. I don't want to jump the gun, but I haven't gotten really excited about a blush since Toasted Cinnamon. And today I mixed Dolly and Seashells together. For highlight, I'm using the Pixi Subtle Sunrise highlight. I just mixed both of them together. On my eyes, I have the Colourpop Dream Street palette. And then I have a pigment all over my lid here and on my inner corners. I also have a little bit of the Charlotte Tilbury Mona Lisa Eyes to Mesmerize pot underneath my Dream Street palette. And then for lips, I have on the Dose of Colors Undressed lip liner. These are amazing. And I have on one of my favorite glosses of all time, M Cosmetics Magic Hour. And that's my makeup. So obviously I'm a big buffoon and I should have filmed this video earlier. So the wear test is gonna suck. It's gonna be like a 7-hour wear test. But usually I know if I like a foundation after hour 4. After hour 5. It is currently 3 p.m. I finished my makeup around 1:30, so I'm gonna try to wait it out till about 9:30 because I wanna do at least 8 hours, but then I still have to edit this video and post it the next day. I know what you're thinking, Kathleen, I thought you were gonna get ahead of yourself so you don't have to film and edit on the same day. I know, I am. Just give me a second. Wait, I came back to let you know it's time for a flash test. So let's see. Oh, okay. I think the foundation looks good. I think oh, I can't see. I'm not noticing any harsh flashback. I think it looks really good. But anyway, I'm really liking how my makeup looks right now. But we will see if I still like this foundation and concealer by tonight. Hello. I'm not able to make it to the 9:30 mark because I have to edit this video and I am sleepy. I woke up really early this morning. Like I said, I had some visitors and I had to be up so early this morning. And I was just washing my brushes and I was falling asleep washing my brushes. So I was like, I can't take this anymore. I need to film that outro and edit that video. So here we are at 8:07 p.m. which isn't the best. But in 30 minutes, I would have had this foundation on for 7 hours. Not bad. I feel like this foundation is looking a little dewy, which I am not mad at all. I wish my face looked like this all the time. But I do fear for those of you with oily skin. I don't know how this is gonna last on you throughout the day because I do feel like I have a bit of shine around my nose and also in between my brows. That dewiness could be from my primer, but I don't think so because I use that primer underneath like everything. I honestly like it. I think after 7 hours, my makeup looks really good. 6.5. I would say if I was out and about, I would take a little bit of powder and powder around my nose and in between my brows, maybe a little bit on the chin, but I could keep on going. You know what? Casey Holmes uploaded her review on this. I just didn't want to watch it because I didn't want it to sway my opinion, so I haven't seen anyone's review on this, but I'm curious to know how it lasted on her skin because she has oily skin. I'm gonna watch that later. By the way, my skin doesn't feel oily at all. It just looks a little bit dewy, which I really like. The foundation sunk into my lines a bit, but honestly, it's not too bad at all. I just went on the Milani website to see how much this cost me. They came out with new baked blushes. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. That is so exciting. I love the Milani baked blushes. I need to buy these. Honestly, my overall thoughts, I would say I'm pretty impressed with this. I think I really enjoy this. I'm gonna continue to use this and play around with it. Milani is one of those brands that I really, really love. There are some things from the brand I don't like, don't get me wrong, but it's very rare. I feel like for the drugstore, they are killing it. This foundation is only $9.99. For 10 bucks, you get a pretty good everyday foundation. I like it, I like it. The concealer is $8.99, by the way, and you get 0.17 fluid ounces in the concealer, and you get 0.46 ounces in the stick foundation. So you don't get a full ounce, but I've noticed that to be the case with a lot of foundation sticks. Most of mine don't reach a full ounce. Let me know what your thoughts are down below. Do you think it looks good? Do you think it looks bad? Do you think this is a foundation you would like? Are you gonna try this out? Are you into stick foundations? Let me know how you feel in the comments below. Also, if there is any other foundation you want me to test out for you guys, anything else you want me to review, don't forget to leave that in the comments as well. Oh, let me see how it looks with my setting spray. Oh man, that just melted everything into my skin and made me look even fresher and more healthy. I think I'm really into this foundation and concealer. I think I really like it. Anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. That completes this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you so, so, so much. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in my next video. Bye. That could also be a little bit of my, but that could also be some of my, but that could also be some, I think that one is a little bit more matte than this one. And I even think that and I even think, oh my gosh, it's back. Ugh, my scrunchie left a kink in my hair. And now I look like one of the boys from Hanson. Let me go fix that.